Hi, we are going to start what is called the Late Empire. So after we finish this lesson, the Roman Empire of the West will be dead, and we will, after you take your exam, we will be ready to start what is actually called Western civilization, or also it's called the Middle Ages, but that's later. So for now we are going to concentrate on the last centuries of the empire, and we're going to concentrate on three topics. The main one, the first one, is when Emperor Diocletian came to power. And when he came to power, it was a total disaster. The empire was being threatened by everything that you can imagine, not only by invasions, groups that wanted to attack and take the empire. There was famine, there was total economic problems. Even the agriculture was in bad shape, everything was in bad shape. Socially it was in bad shape, and Diocletian came to power and decided to fix it. So the first part of this lesson is going to deal with how Diocletian tried to fix the empire. Then the next part is when Diocletian resigned, he decided he couldn't take it any longer, and he was going to spend the rest of his life in his garden growing cabbage. And then the next one, after some conflicts, military conflicts, the next emperor, Constantine, or Constantine as the British call him, took over. And during the time of Constantine, the major event was that a new religion, that was no longer a new religion, but Christianity had become the winner of all the other religious groups, and Christianity then became the official religion of the Roman Empire. And so those are the three main topics that we are going to deal with. Just as a reminder, this is the way the Roman Empire looked. What you see in pink is the way the Roman Empire looked before Diocletian took power. Notice that all this section in blue is where the groups called Germanic tribes lived, and there were many different groups that belonged to the Germanic class, and many of these groups were admiring the life, the stability of the empire, and they wanted to come into the empire. And some of them had already done that. For instance, here there was a group called the Franks, and they had already settled closer to the empire. And that's eventually these are the groups that came into the empire and became Western civilization. Also, notice that there are some sections in yellow, like for instance this one or this one or this one. Well, the sections in yellow are the ones that were added during the first 300 years of the Roman Empire, and some of them, like this one, Britannia, stayed Roman. However, others, like this one, or especially this one, this is where it's called Mesopotamia. This is where today is Iraq, and those were part of the empire just for a short period of time. There was one emperor that was just, his whole goal was to expand the empire. That was Emperor Trajan, and he tried to conquer, but everything that many of the things that he conquered were lost a few decades later. So, for instance, what today is Iraq was part of the Roman Empire for a little while, and then they got their independence. This is a region that was added also during the first maybe 200 years of the empire. And this is very important because right here is a very small, at that time it was like a fisherman village that was called Byzantium or Byzantium, and at that point was not very important. But the location of Byzantium is very important because this is Asia and this is Europe. So Byzantium is the place where East meets West, and strategically it was a very important place. And Constantine took advantage of that and built a very important city there that we'll talk about it in a second. So this is then the Roman Empire during the time of Diocletian. And so when Diocletian said, well, what am I going to do? How can I make things work? One of the things, among others, one of the things that he decided to do was to divide the empire into two. And you see the line here, and the line, this line is a very significant line because this line divided the empire into two, the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western Roman Empire. At that time, it just seemed to be a practical thing. Its significance came later. But Diocletian also felt that the empire was way to be managed. So not only he divided the empire into two, East and West, but each of the two parts was going to be ruled by two people. So two people in the East and two people in the West. And this is what became known as the Tetrarchy. Tetrarchy meaning four. And this is a very nice little sculpture that is in Venice. And it's so small that most people don't look at it, don't even see it, but it shows the Diocletian's Tetrarchy, the four rulers of the Roman Empire. And that was not enough for Diocletian, so he also divided the empire into what is called dioceses. So there were 12 dioceses in the empire. And this was also to make it more practical in its rule. But I thought you would like to know this because the Christians, the Christian leaders, decided to take advantage of this division into dioceses. And when Christianity was growing and they needed to have some kind of administrative divisions, they used also the term diocese. So, and even today, both the Catholic Church and the Episcopalian Church use the term diocese for their divisions. So this is what one of the policies that Diocletian implemented, and it worked. The empire was much better ruled during his time. And also he made some changes in social, political, economic aspects that for a while appeared to be that the empire was going to work and it was going to last longer. So finally Diocletian resigned and a new emperor came, Constantine, and Constantine more or less followed the policies of Diocletian, but he did something that also is very significant. What he did was noticing that this little village of Byzantium was located in a very important place, he decided to build a new city. He loved buildings, he loved constructions. So he not only started building new buildings in Rome. For instance, this is called the Arch of Constantine, and it's one of the most amazing buildings in Rome. But his main goal was to create what he called a new Rome. And you have plenty of documents in the lesson that describe the reasons for his decision, and also how the decision was implemented. So these are some of the pictures of that new Rome that eventually came to be known as Constantinople. And so read in the book and read all about Constantine's building interests and all what he did. It was just amazing the way Constantinople was built, which was the way the new Rome was eventually known as. But Constantine did something that also is a long-lasting effect, and it was when Constantine decided that this was right before the end of the Roman Empire, when he decided that he was going to make Christianity a legal religion during the empire, because Diocletian had persecuted Christians. That was one of the policies that he thought would help the Roman Empire. But Constantine reversed that, and with Constantine, Christianity started to take a really strong hold in Rome. And of course you're going to read all about it. And then soon after Constantine, the Roman Empire continued to decline, and very soon the end of the Roman Empire came. And the end came when practically the entire Roman Empire had been taken over by some of those Germanic tribes. So you can see on this map how this is even before the end of the Roman Empire, that many of the Germanic tribes had already settled within the empire. So at some point, and this happened on the year 476, which for us is very important because officially the year 476 is the date given by historians of the end of the Roman Empire, but in reality the year 476 for the people who lived there didn't mean anything. So there was an emperor, his name was Romulus Augustulus, or Romulus Augustus, which is kind of interesting because Romulus is the founder of Rome and Augustus is the first emperor. So this young man, he was about 15, was the emperor, but he had no interest in being an emperor at all. So this Germanic chieftain, his name was Odoacer, came, and in one day he came to Romulus Augustus and said, "Hey, how would you like for me to build a beautiful villa on the beach right here, and then you just resign and just stop being emperor?" So Romulus Augustus says, sounds interesting, okay, I'll do it. And he did. And that was the end of the Roman Empire of the West. So what appeared to be very, very grandiose empire ended in a very silly way. You know, you would imagine that there had been a huge battle, and that in the battle the Germanics won, and the last emperor was defeated and killed. Nothing like that. So that was officially the end of the Roman Empire of the West. But as I said before, in reality, since most of the empire was already settled by different Germanic tribes, the people who lived here did not even notice that there was a change. It was much later than they noticed. And what happened to the eastern part of the empire? The eastern part of the empire didn't change, because there was an emperor in the east, and the emperor in the east, his name at the time was Zeno. When he heard that Romulus Augustus had resigned, he said, "Oh, so that means right now I'm the emperor of the empire, of the entire empire." And for him, it was just no big deal. So, so what we need to remember is, as you study the lesson and you analyze all the process, what is important is that you remember that when we talk about the year 476 as the fall of the Roman Empire, it is really not quite true. We should say the year 476 is the fall of the Roman Empire of the East, and is the fall of the Roman Empire of the West, and the eastern part survived, and they continue to be called the Roman Empire. In fact, you see here that it says Romania, because they thought of themselves as still the Roman Empire, and eventually the people that lived in the West started calling them the Greeks, or because the Eastern Emperor had his capital city at Constantinople, and Constantinople had been founded on the village of Byzantium, then the name of this land came to be known as the Byzantine Empire or Byzantine Empire. And so with this, as I said at the beginning, we have killed the Roman Empire of the West, and this ends our lesson 5. Now, what is the result of all this? Apart from the fall of the Roman Empire, the next important thing of this is that by this time, Christianity has become the official religion of the Roman Empire. This happened under Emperor Theodosius, who lived about 100 years after Constantine, and by this time then, the Roman Empire is a Christian empire. And what is the result of that? What is the consequence of that? Well, the first thing is that, of course, Christianity has become the religion of the Roman Empire. And as the Germanic tribes entered the empire, Christianity became the religion of the Germanic people. And since the Germanic people became Western civilization, then Christianity became the religion of Western civilization. And at that point, the values of the people who lived in that area begin to change. So Western society begins to evolve slowly and very painfully, but slowly the values of Western civilization began to change. And this is the end of our introduction to lesson 5. And the next time I see you, we are going to have exam 1 out of the way, and you will have completed the first third of the semester. So thank you for listening, and I will see you then when we start lesson 6. Thank you.